Ed, come on, Eileen. After 22 years of marriage, this is the first letter tonight. The gorgeous, athletic, muscle-rippling bronze Adonis that I exchanged my till death do us part vows with has evolved into an ugly, sweaty, pot-bellied, balding, hairy-eared sloth. Comes to us from a not-so-happy lady out there married. Second letter tonight, where is the service ethic gone in this country? And the third letter tonight, I hope this is a common problem, but I can't stand my wife's side of the family. All this and more coming up right now on Sweet and Sour.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
That sounds all right. That's all right. Not bad. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Lovely to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour. You want to meet them? The panellists are here. First up, 7 months into marriage, Baz.
7 months.
How are you,
yes.
mate?
Very well, thank you. Great to be back. Last time I was here, I was very recently married. It was
Very
just before
recently married.
Christmas, around our Sweet and Sour Christmas episodes, and I can tell you, it's been all downhill since then. No, married life. I recommend it thoroughly. Gary, you haven't walked down the aisle yet.
No, haven't.
And
Come close.
I know the pressure is on. I can thoroughly recommend
You're
it.
the only one providing that pressure, I might add too, Baz. Who does the cooking at your place?
My wife does the cooking, Amy. Hello, Amy. She does a wonderful job too. She's a very good cook.
She good at the Greek stuff?
She used to be an enthusiastic cook, which meant shit out. She's now qualified to the next level, and she's doing a fantastic job.
Fantastic,
Oh,
Baz.
you
Good to
should
have you
love
here.
it, love it.
Are you a good cook?
Who are you nearly engaged to?
Well,
Or
I
married
can't tell you
to?
that on TV.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that during the break.
Hi, how are you?
Cook, I answer the question.
Really bad cook. My husband's an even worse cook, but he thinks he's good, which is nothing worse.
So what do you eat? Take out.
My son, who's 9, cooks.
You eat your son?
No, he cooks. He cooks. He's really good.
He's 9.
And the odd red rooster chook always goes far too on the way home.
Now, apart from interesting snacks and things, you've got some pretty good news, because the last time you came on the show, you were with your different company, and now what's going on?
Yeah, so we've been, Actors Management has been taken over by RGM Artist Group, which are a huge international talent agency. And we represent people like Kate Blanchett, Rose Byrne, Anthony LaPaglia, Andrew Denton. I know, I'm picking up those names as we speak. And so we're breaking into all the young, well, not young, but young and old Perth
Does that
actors.
mean I can ring you up and say, hey, Neddy, when does Kate Blanchett get on the show?
Yeah, well, you could. We do get the stars flying in.
I can ask. All right, mate.
I can always email you, tell you who's in town at the time.
Okay,
yeah,
you're on. Good to have you on the show.
Good to be back.
Lise, got any names to drop?
No, celebrities like us. Who else do you know?
Oh, you're right. Have you been? Where have you been? I know you went to the Maldives, because before you went, you came on our show and you said you were going. How was it?
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Went diving with the sharks and with my first manta rays, and it's brilliant.
Manta
Got to go
rays?
to the Maldives, not just for a wedding, because I'm not married.
Now, because they all get married and go and have honeymoons
That's
and
right.
all that sort of. So were you with the honeymooners?
Well, no, there was a few there, but
Okay.
nothing more to say. That was good.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our Sweet and Sour Virgin, Sam Mac, King of Gotcha Calls. Hello, mate.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Welcome to the show.
It's an honour to be on the show. I've heard a lot about Sweet and Sour. I've got to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed when I saw that Basil Zempalis had higher billing than I did on the show credits, but I'm willing to put that to the side for a moment, move on, and let's have a good night of informal chats, shall we?
All right, mate. Well, welcome. How do you like living in Perth?
I love it, yeah. It's kind of, I guess the great thing is when I tell people that I'm from Adelaide, they kind of chuckle for a few seconds and they go, sorry to hear that. So over here in Perth, it's like, I'm in the big smoke. I've made it. This is incredible.
Oh, well, good on you, mate. Welcome to the show. Great to have you here. You ready to do some work? Here we
see
go.
how we go.
All right. Hey, panel. After 22 years of marriage, the gorgeous, athletic, muscle-rippling bronze Adonis that I exchanged my till death do us part vows with has evolved into an ugly, sweaty, pot-bellied, balding, hairy-eared sloth. On top of everything else, he's nothing to chat about. He goes to work every day as I do. We have dinner with the 2 kids every night. We've paid off the mortgage, paying off the investment property, putting the kids through uni and school. And at this point, everything should be fine. But it doesn't even look like the man I married. And it doesn't smell like the man I married. I wish I could motivate him, but I'm really doing my best to avoid having to be with him at all. It's time to quit. Is it time to quit? I hear that after 15 years, it's the companionship in a marriage that keeps it together. Well, that's over. Do I stay for the kids or try to put him on an exercise bike, which I've tried to do? Help here, people, please. It comes to us from Ruth of Bankstown, New South Wales. Neddy, what would you do if Pete turned into a hairy-eared sloth? Phil.
Listen,
Phil.
the thing is, the natural reaction to say, hey, you need to go start working out and get on the bike and that kind of thing. We did actually, before we got married, we did go through a time where we just went like this, and we were like, oh my God, you know, we were slightly freaked out, and then we, you know, lost weight and all that kind of, because you do.
Who motivated who?
He did.
He motivated you?
Yeah, but you know what? You have to do it as a couple. You can't expect him to do it by himself. You absolutely have to go, as a couple, we're going to get back into shape. You need to motivate him by complimenting him first about whatever you can find to compliment him. If you just go in nagging, he'll just put up the, am I allowed to make a rude finger gesture? He'll just go like that. That's exactly what he will do.
That, by the way. That is offensive.
You can pixelate that bit, right?
Children watching this show.
That is,
Gee
his
whiz.
inner monologue will be that gesture, because he'll just be like,
You're allowed to
you're
do it,
such
but
a
we won't
nag.
invite you back.
Sorry.
Of course we will.
That's you have to find a way to compliment him on whatever it is. Like, oh, you look great tonight, or something like that. That'll just give him the confidence to then boost him to the next level.
Should she be wasting her time with him?
No. No. I mean, I think she's a little bit mean about that. Oh, 15 years.
Bankstown, New South Wales.
Yeah, Ruth, you.
Very mean.
Yeah, I think so.
Baz,
Nah,
she a bitch?
Nah, get rid of him, Ruth.
Oh.
Get rid of him. He's had his 15 years. I mean, it's not like it's just happened, is it? I mean, he's had his chances, hasn't he? I'm sure this isn't the first time that Ruth has gently nudged him and said, come on, champ, it's time to shape up or ship out. I mean, let's go through some of the things, though. I mean, ugly, well, not much you can do about that, I guess. Sweaty.
Well, that's because he's fat.
Rexona or something. I think you could. Pot-bellied, you could fix that one. That's a personal
Balding,
choice.
you can't.
Well, you sort of can
fix
these
it now.
days.
Minoxidil. Here we go.
Why,
Yeah.
is there something we should know about?
Hairy-eared.
You can do something about that.
Yeah,
definitely.
personal grooming. So,
Yeah.
with the exception of ugly, the bloke concerned here could have fixed the sweatiness, the pot-belliedness, the balding, the hairy-eared, and everything else. So, I reckon, Ruth, you've given him enough time. 15 years, all over Red Rover.
Get rid of him, even though you can fix a few things. Lise, what do you do with a bloke like this?
Oh, well, I, fingers crossed, believe in the sanctity of marriage. And I think, I'm wondering, are you still that hot chick that he married as well? He's probably as lazy and fed up as what you are. So I think lead by example. I like the idea of complimenting him any way you can, because I can just see me getting to 15 years going, oh, way too hard. So forget about exercise.
Are you thinking that he's lost his motivation because he's looking at her and going, I'm married to a fat pig too?
Yeah, I do. Sorry, Ruth.
Hello to Ruth if you're watching.
Come on, Sammy.
Well, I think that I would kind of extend on your point, Lisa, that, look at yourself first, not in a negative way. Look at yourself in maybe you need to go to the gym. Don't take this the wrong way. I think the best way to get a reaction from men sometimes is to make them jealous. So what she needs to do is go to the gym, get a personal trainer, start using the term personal trainer a lot in front of your fat, slobby husband. Finish every conversation with, well, my personal trainer wouldn't have said that, or my personal trainer wouldn't do it like that. All of a sudden, he starts to worry, who is this personal trainer? Then slip into conversation that he's 25. He's Swedish, he's buffed, he's bronzed. Suddenly, he'll be at the gym, you'll get your Adonis back. Ruth, good luck.
Ruth, Sam has a plan for you. Amazing. Have you done this before, Sam?
Not on this channel.
When we come back, we're going to be talking about service in Australia and whether retail's got it right. Don't go away, but we'll be right back. Yeah, I'm glad we knew we were back then. If you would like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now. If I'm right, I don't know, because we can't see the monitor anymore, but it's letters@sweetandsour.net.au. It will land here. Our letters editor will have a read, tighten it up a bit, pass it over to us if she likes it. And for everyone that does get read out, we're going to send you to the movies courtesy of the very gorgeous Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week, Baz, is?
Yeah. That's right. Date night. Date night. Good movie. Very good movie.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. But I've read the reviews and excellent.
Excellent. Steve
film.
Carell and
Steve Carell and Tina
Fey.
Tina Fey. Very good. Good memory. All right, here we go. Hello, panellists. Don't you think retailers have lost the plot in Australia? It's all about saving costs now rather than serving the needs of the purchaser. They will employ an unskilled or underskilled 15 or 16-year-old kid who knows precious little but also costs little, rather than have a mature, knowledgeable man or woman serve and help. My husband, who has a prostate condition, went to a pharmacist only last week. Not only did it take him courage to swallow his pride and speak to a young girl about his prostate, he did it because he was in need. He received a blank stare in return, and then she embarrassed him by calling out loudly for help anyway. Where was the service? Where has the service ethic gone in this country? At least in the United States and Britain, there are people who still serve you with certainty and ability. And the service in restaurants and cafes in other countries is just terrific. Here they make you queue up to be served because it's all about the retailer saving money rather than building a business on service. I'm hopping mad that we have been subjected to this treatment. Why has service evaporated in this country? What do we have to do to get it back? It comes to us from Cassandra of Milton in South Australia. Where's Milton, Sammy?
It is quite far out of the city. I have no idea.
Well, there's no service out there.
Yeah, north or west or
Alaska, gone. Yeah, okay. Sammy, what do you take? What's your take on this one?
Well, first of all, Cassandra, I don't know about your husband asking a 15-year-old for advice on a prostate. I mean, how many 15-year-olds realistically are going to give you the right sort of advice?
What happens if she was the only one in the chemist shop?
That's a good point. Yeah, go to a different chemist, is what I would say. I mean, most areas have quite a few chemists, and I disagree with that point about how the service is great everywhere else in the world. I've travelled quite a bit, and I've had dodgy service in every country I've been to, even in every city I've been to.
Big sign on Sam's back. Poor service here, please.
I think you get good and bad in most cities, so if you're not happy with the service, go somewhere else.
Can we improve, Sam?
Not with 15-year-olds giving prostate advice.
All right, Lise, what's your take on this?
We can improve.
We can improve?
And it's a very simple answer to this. When we stop paying the truck drivers $200K and we pay the people in the cafes more money, the service will probably improve. So there's really not much we can do, I don't think. But then again, like the service, I remember when I was living in Melbourne and the service there was really bad down Ackland Street. It was really bad. Yeah, so I just think it's...
Did you get your bagels in the morning for breakfast and all that sort of thing?
Yep, always had breakfast down. I can't remember the name of the cafes, but they were fantastic.
Oh, you must be a high income earner. Have breakfast at a cafe every morning. Wow.
Controversial.
I mean, that is bling right there, ladies and gentlemen.
But the US, like I lived in the UK for a little while as well, and the
is there some place you haven't lived?
Terrible. New York, that's my target list.
That's next.
That's next.
Okay.
Yeah, but forget it. It's nothing you know. So.
Nothing to it? Okay. All right, Nettie.
Do you know what I've started to do in the last couple of years?
Queue up at shops.
No, whenever I get really good, I swear to God, whenever I get really good service, I write a letter to the owner.
That's so good.
I know, it's so good because they always give me like vouchers and that.
How much time have you got on it?
I swear to God, and I tell you who the best are, Country Road. Those girls are like they're from like Swiss finishing schools. They are absolutely amazing.
So when they give you a good service, tell them.
I know. I write a letter to the human resources manager.
And what do you get back? Right. Acknowledgement saying?
Acknowledgement and saying thank you so much and we'd love to see you in the store.
A couple of discount vouchers and a couple of...
No, but I do it because I know how good it felt to get someone who has nothing to gain from saying, look, I just want you to know that your company is doing the right thing. And you know what? They pay their people the most of all the...
Country Road?
Yep, yeah, and it shows. Because I asked them, I said, you girls are just so incredibly amazing and well-mad and so helpful. And they said, you know, we get amazing training, we get paid the best. Like they get like, you know, an extra $4 an hour. But so all the best people want to work there.
So it is a question of paying good dollars to get good service.
But when you do get good service, write a letter. And honestly, imagine being like an 18-year-old and you're a waitress and your boss goes, hey, I've got this letter, said you were like so good. You You'd just feel like $1 million, wouldn't you?
You would?
Yeah.
You
Totally, I think so.
You would?
Because all you
Baz?
get is complaints otherwise.
Good
Yeah.
service, bad
I
service,
think the
mixed
problem.
service.
I think the problem here is that if we're going to get better service, we're going to have to pay more for it, aren't we? For example, petrol is already very high. Remember in the old days, you'd go to the petrol station, the guy would come out, he would
Yeah.
put the petrol in for you. Imagine if that was happening today.
How much
You'd
would
be
it
paying
cost?
another, what, 50 cents, maybe another $1,
Yeah.
and no one here would be prepared to pay another $1 per litre to fill up their tank. So I think we've sort of cornered ourselves. But I agree with Sam, if you don't like the service, say something about it. Walk out, make
Yeah.
a stand. Or even worse, don't tip. They all expect a tip, but if they don't deserve it, don't give them one. Send the
Do you
message.
tip?
Send the
I try to.
message.
Do you?
Whenever I'm at Sienna's in Leederville, everybody's favourite restaurant, I always
I
tip.
never tip.
Never tip.
No, I never tip because they're not getting $3 an hour. They're getting $18 an
Nettie
hour.
never tips. Just
Shit,
a quick
I'm
one on
the
the panel.
tight-ass person
Baz
at the
tips.
left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nettie never tips.
I never tip.
I'll tip if they're good.
Sometimes
They're really
tip.
way.
Sam?
No way.
Adelaide boy. No
Do you
tips.
know what? I'm not tight. I just
Where
thought
were
that
you
you
born?
didn't tip.
Where were you born?
In Perth, here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God,
I
okay.
just didn't realise that was the sentence.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
When we come back in our next segment, we're going to be talking about her side of the family.
I did
who are
once tip
bad.
at Needs. Okay, there you go. Sorry. I had to get that in.
Okay, before we come on, Gary sends us a little email and he tells us a few things, rules, what to do, what not to do. One of the things he said was not to wear black or white, so I didn't do that. The other thing was to have lots of fun, and I know we all did that tonight. Good on you, Gazza.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour, straight into the letter. Hello, Mitch and Sweet and Sour panellists. I hope this is a common problem because I need some sound advice, but I just don't like my wife's side of the family. I could go through and tell you why each one is a waste of space, but suffice to say that I think they're all further down the evolutionary scale than the rest of us, and they're probably the Neanderthals' closest living extended family on the planet. Complete and utter morons. Speaking of evolutionary scale, according to my wife's complete extended family, the planet is less than 10,000 years old. Yes, they are all creationists and non-thinkers. I just can't stand them. I'm not insensitive to my wife's needs to see her family, but really, why do I need to go with her on family visits and take our kids into the lunatic asylum? I don't ask her to come and visit my family, but she does, and on all accounts enjoys the interaction with all of them. But how do I convince my wife that it's okay for me to stay at home when she goes to visit the various branches of the family tree that definitely need pruning? As well as being creationist morons, they are arrogant about it and the most presumptuous, small-minded dimwits I've ever had the misfortune to encounter. I'm delighted to say my wife broke away to go to university years ago, but still keeps her family of nutters close. Paul of Naranda, Western Australia. We're going straight to Baz.
Yes, well, this is a very complex set of arguments here, isn't it? It might be a touch simplistic from Paul, I think. I think he's basically trying to hide the emotions of not wanting to deal with the in-laws behind the religious argument. I've got a feeling what Paul's trying to do here is get this out there, make it publicly known that he has a fundamental problem on religious grounds with the other side of the family. But I think in actual fact, he just doesn't want to see them. Yeah. He'd rather be watching the football or the golf or going and playing darts with his mates. But Paul of Naranda, we know who you are. And we're not fooled by this because we have seen this sort of behaviour before. Paul, if you get married, you make a commitment to both sides of the family. You've got to do the right thing, champ. Get over there and see them at least once in a while, if you can stand it.
Nettie, do you like this bloke, Paul of Naranda?
No, you have no choice. You have to find some. Well, just don't. First of all,
He has
don't
no
bring,
choice because
because he is
married.
What Baz was saying is, when you make a commitment to that person, you make an effort to make a commitment to that family.
Is that part of the laws of marriage?
Yeah, it's the
You have to?
moral law. It's what's manners, good manners.
Good manners.
And
Maybe
it's,
Paul doesn't have any.
it's clearly, but it's rude. Look, I know there's things, I can imagine it must be really, really hard for him because he goes, oh, but all you have to do is fake it for like an hour, be nice, don't be rude, and then you go and think how bad your wife must feel as well you know, that she can't bring her husband to a family event, and she's probably making excuses for him why he's not there and all that kind of thing. It'd be awful.
He might be an obnoxious prick and
Probably.
she really doesn't want to take him anyway.
Probably.
If your husband didn't want to go
Yeah.
to see your side of the family, how would you feel?
I would let him off every now and then.
Okay.
But there's certain things that he'd have to go to.
Some mandatory visits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some have-tos.
Yeah, definitely.
Any particular categories like family weddings, family christenings?
Weddings,
all the formal
Easters,
things?
all the formal things.
So go to all the formal things Neddie's saying.
Yeah.
What things can you be let off from?
Like the odd, we're just having a barbecue and it's just a kind of a get-together. You know, you can make an excuse for that.
Okay.
But maybe 1 out of every 5 he could get out of.
Okay.
Yeah, and just grin and bear it.
Lise?
Yeah.
Ned said what he should do, but he's written in to say, how do I get out of it? How does he get out of it?
Oh, I don't think there is an easy solution to this one. I agree with everything you're saying. I think I wouldn't want to go and see my rallies too frequently. Once a year's enough. The hubby's, the wife's other side of the family. So if you have to go, just drink. Drink's always a good solution. Makes it easier. Just turn on the telly while you're there. You know, maybe they're, you know, if they are such creationists and Neanderthals, maybe they've got a TV in the kitchen, which is also the family room or something. So turn that on, watch the TV, get some earphones, grow your hair long, cover it up, anything like that. But you might just have to go every once a year.
Do you think this guy sounds as
I reckon he's really arrogant.
intolerant as he says the family is?
Yeah, he's so arrogant to think that he's better than them. That's what he's basically saying. I'm
Sam-
better than them, don't want to sit with them.
Sam, what do you make of this bloke, Paul of Miranda?
I think he's a little bit arrogant, but I also think he has a genuine concern there. So I think there's a few ways to handle it. Maybe the first way I'd look at is making the family hate you, and that will mean you won't be
I'm sure they
invited.
already do.
Yeah, but no, I mean really hate you, like injuring their cat or something. There's something that will get a reaction. You won't be invited to any future family functions. It's worked for me. Another one is to make it seem beneficial for your partner for you to stay home. I mean, essentially, he just wants to stay home. So if he says to his partner, hey, in a few years, we're probably going to have kids. I'm going to start building a cubby house in the backyard for our kids. Aren't I an amazing husband? She'll go, oh, that's great. Don't you worry about coming and visiting my freak family today. You stay at home and build the cubby house. But while you're building the cubby house, you build it bigger than a standard cubby house. You actually turn it into a pool room. You put a pool table in there and you just kick back there, watch the football, play pool with your mates, and you're set.
Good strategy, Sam.
Sam, you're not married, are you?
No.
So, prospective ladies, you know what Sam's going to be doing when the time comes. Nice work, mate.
But it is weird, you know, when you have a family.
Yeah,
You've got your
chance.
family. Oh, sorry. Has everyone spoken?
Yeah.
Oh, because we've got like a minute 34. No, but I think, you know when you
You
get...
told me Gary was the host.
But you know when you have your family and then it's not until the in-laws come in that's put a new set of eyes on the family who go, you guys are weird. You know what I mean? Where you go, oh, that's just us.
You don't know
you reckon though?
You don't know you're weird until somebody else says
Yeah,
you guys are weird.
it's like when my husband came, he's like, what's with all the shouting? And I go, well, that's just the way we do it. He's like, you know, and I'd never sort of noticed
Neddy,
that we're loud.
do you like this letter?
Yeah, I do like this letter.
Do you want to give it the pair of limited edition
definitely.
Sundays?
It gets my vote.
Of, not Natalie Cameron, she gives us the movie passes, courtesy of Alan Treves and Aussie Opticals.
Yeah.
A pair. Lise, do you like this letter to give the
number
prize
3
away?
is my favourite.
Boys?
Easily the best one in this
Oh,
segment.
there you go.
Yes,
yeah,
four
all right.
ticks, four ticks.
Coming out to, who was it?
Paul of Miranda.
Paul
of Miranda, the arrogant-
The pair of limited edition Sunnies, courtesy of Aussie Opticals and Alan Treves. We've got to go. Baz,
Great to be back on the show.
can you come back next week too?
I would love. Can we come back the same? Can we get the same panel back? Any chance?
I
we
don't
can do
know.
that?
We'll have to ask. Nettie, can
Give it
you
a
come
go.
back next week?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's
No
do it
problems.
again.
Yep. No,
All right,
no
we'll do it
problems.
again. Lise?
Yep, sounds good.
Sammy?
Sam's like,
No, I'm happy to come back on the condition I can wear exactly the same clothes.
We'll all wear the same clothes.
yes,
You
definitely.
can do that, Sammy.
You guys are happy to stay in the same clothes for
No,
next
no,
week
no,
yourself?
I guarantee if I come back on the show next week, I won't be wearing a tie. I'm telling you now, I will not have a tie on next week.
We've got to go. Thank all our wonderful panellists. Thanks for having us at home tonight. And to our crew, thank you, guys.
Thanks,
See you next
crew.
week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well done.